Welcome back to Will's Wheelhouse. Today we're going to be replacing an alternator on a Toyota Avalon. As you know, safety second. Jack up the vehicle, secure with jack stands, and chock the wheels. Next, we're going to disconnect the negative post on the battery. Set it aside. Then you're going to remove the wheel on this car, 21 millimeter lug nuts, and you will remove this panel here. You got two 10 millimeters and a push pin right there. Push the center of that in and remove it. That gains you access to your belt, which you'll need to remove to get to the alternator, which is located right there. Now remove your panel, goes across the radiator support. Loosen up the belt tensioner, which is that pulley right there. You'll push the tensioner towards the rear of the vehicle, and then you can insert a small screwdriver into the hole in the tensioner, and then there's a hole behind it that'll hold the tension off the belt. Mark your belt, draw a diagram of how the belt went, and remove the belt. Now you're going to remove your connections. This is your positive terminal and your connection right here. Take both of these off. Also remove this bolt here for the wiring. It's a 10 millimeter to make sure this is free enough to get to the alternator. Now you're going to remove the lower bolt to the alternator right there. And now we're going to remove the upper bolt on the alternator. And for the lucky ones that have to do this job, there is one hidden bolt right there. It's a 12 millimeter, and it's a bracket that goes from the alternator over here to the tip of this light. Now we're going to remove the upper radiator core support, so remove your 10 millimeter bolts, quite a few of them here. That way you can remove this panel to gain access to move the radiator back enough to get the alternator out. Now your alternator has been pulled and reinstalled. You'll start with that bolt right there. Make sure you get that in first and tighten that up, and then you can start installing the other bolts, the one there and the one down there. All right, now that we've got the core support top part put back in, all the bolts, we got the air duct put back in, the bolts, the hood latch, we tightened. Two bolts in the back, that one and the one going to the alternator. We've got the top bolt tightened up, the lower bolt tightened up. We've rerouted our new belt. It's time to remove the tension off the belt and pull your little pin out. So now your belt is rerouted, installed properly. All bolts are tightened on the alternator. Your power supply wire, your quick disconnect right here. You've reinstalled the wire looms everywhere that you've disconnected. sure you do a glance over, make sure you check all your bolts. Make sure your support is put back in. If you disconnected your horn wires, make sure those are hooked back up. The 2 bolts that are hidden back there that you can't see. Belts reinstalled. Time to go back with your fender liner and your wheel. All right, now you've got your alternator reinstalled, battery terminal hooked back up. Let's give this a test, see how it does. All right, start the car. And we're putting out good voltage.